Alright, so let's talk some tree diagrams and do some more practice with conditional probabilities. Okay, so the tree diagram is just basically set up like this. You start out with either a P or a Q, and if you notice, this is our bimodal response. Okay, and then you have another bimodal response down here. Now, we're not going to say P and not Q again, because we've already dealt with that. But we're going to come up with a situation where you can actually use the tree diagram to organize your information. So let's say that your information starts out like this. In football, 20% of athletes use human growth hormone. From the prior research I made up, okay, and that is a joke because I did make this up just for the sake of numbers, 2% of football players get away with it. If HGH isn't in the body of the player, the test will come out clear 99.4% of the time. Okay? Alright, so let's start taking a look at this. Alright? Let's start marking up stuff. So this one we should mark as 0.2. Okay, that's if they are using it. And that means that this is going to be 0.8. Okay? Alright? Now this one is going to be the tested portion. So this is using, and this one is not using. And let me move that a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Okay. Now this one is going to be the test. So this is going to be the test positive, okay, route, and this one's going to be the test negative route. So this is going to be the test positive, and this one's going to be the test negative. Okay? Alright, so from prior research I made up, 2% of football players get away with it. So if they are using, there's 2 that test, 2% that test out. So this is going to be the 0.02 right here. Now that means that if they are using and they do get caught, that means about 98% are going to be caught. So that's going to be a 0.98. So this is the new information I can start putting in here so that I know what numbers to work with. So I've already put in the 80% down here and the 98% up here. Okay. Alright, now if we take a look at the bottom, the test positive and the test negative. Now we know that from the prior research I made up that they will be tested negative. So this will be 0.994 right here. So that means that about, unfortunately, 0.06 will actually be caught. And so this number is going to be that one right there. Okay, so as you can see, I started with just 3 numbers, but I was able to actually fill out the rest of this tree diagram. Now, when I'm going across to figure out the actual answers, to find the remaining probabilities, okay, I'm just going to multiply across. Okay, so for right here, I'm going to go 0.2 times 0.98, and this will be a 19.6% chance that the person will get caught if they are doing it. Okay. Now this one right here is going to be 0.2 times 0.02. This will be 0.004. Well, in actuality, this is a 0.4% chance. Oh, let's get that right there. Okay, that the player will get away with it. Get away. Get caught. Okay. Alright, now this one right here is going to be kind of a funky one because there's a large number of people that have it. So 0.006, we multiply that, and this should be 0.48% get a, what we call a false negative. Okay, and they get falsely accused basically. Right? And if you remember your rules, basically you can subtract this all from 100%, or you can just multiply straight across. 0.8 times 0.994, and this one right here is going to be 79.52%. Okay, are innocent. Okay, and clean. Okay, so as you can see, even though they're not using, there's still some that get caught, and so that takes away some small percentage of that. And even though they are using HGH, there's a small percentage that will get away with it. So it's actually a really interesting thing to think about when you're working with tree diagrams. Okay, now when you're going straight up, obviously multiply. Okay, this one would actually be your conditional. This is the probability of B given that A has already happened. In other words, A is your situation where they used, and B, given that A happened, you would just have it that way. Okay? All right. So the cool stuff, you guys, is that tree diagrams work out really great. Make sure you take your time to fill in data and then think about what's actually going on. And if you'd like to ever check your work to make sure you did everything correctly, make sure you add up all these percentages, and they should add up to 100%, which mine does. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.